Yeah. Do you know how to get to Sesame Street? Do you remember? I thought I'd ask.
I don't even know. I didn't even know. What?
It's a part of the song. Sesame Street.
They just talk about how to get to Sesame Street. They don't actually tell you.
Oh, yo. So we were singing about getting taken to Sesame Street, but not knowing the way to get there.
You were asking somebody the way to get there, but the way to get there was literally to keep watching because you would be there in a second.
See, I didn't even understand that. I didn't comprehend it. I didn't do the knowledge.
You were also a child, so what is do the knowledge? I don't understand that as a verb.
You're not hanging around in the right circles. Not hanging around in the woke circles. You know what I'm saying?
The knowledge.
You got a kente cloth, man.
What?
You got a kente cloth.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like the hoteps.
I'm not a hotep.
That's how you don't know how to do the knowledge, son.
That's
you know what I'm saying, kid?
You don't know how to do the knowledge. I literally cannot tell what's happening right now. I would like to. I don't know.
Think about it. Okay, so welcome to the 9th episode.
Okay, of
the Black Apple Pie podcast.
Look at that.
Boom, doom, 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 doom. Da 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 da.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one. Da 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 da. I don't remember the lyrics to the song. That's all I remember. Dr. Dre, Lil Busters.
Up to Long Beach, Inglewood.
I felt wow. Okay. Why was that our entrance?
Because when I said the episode, I said episode 9 for whatever reason.
Because
sometimes,
thought, like the next episode,
right?
Okay.
It totally reminds me of Star Wars.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was thinking Star Trek for a second.
No.
Mm-mm.
Do I have to change the way I say no?
No.
You probably should, but it's just so abrupt.
I'm sorry.
Like it's like no one is allowed to make a mistake in front of you.
No.
You know, the song's appropriate because I was watching Training Day a couple nights ago, and I forgot Dr. Dre makes a cameo in that movie. He's like one of the Denzel's guys.
Really?
Yeah, when they go raid.
Why would Dr. Dre be one of
I know,
those
but
guys?
when you watch him, it's just like he's just like throwing his shoulders out there, and like talking shit to everybody for no reason. And then he gets sucker punched by Ethan Hawke because he pointed the shotgun at, we're gonna blow this fool away, whatever. It's just like dorky language. It's like, dude, you're NWA.
Well, somebody wrote that for him too.
That's what I'm saying, but it's like
hot take.
I feel like if it was Ice Cube was just like, nah, I know what to say.
Ice Cube wouldn't know what to say. He writes his own shit.
Why wouldn't Dr. Dre?
Because he doesn't write his own shit.
But he makes his own shit.
He like beats.
Hot take. I didn't really like Training Day that much.
You know, I still liked it a lot, but being older and more nuanced in the acting, there's a lot of like kind of phoned in, and it's David Ayer, so there's a lot of lazy.
You Negroes will be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I'm through with you.
Yeah.
Second hot take.
Yeah.
Often, black musicians turned actors get the worst lines in movies, and my primary evidence of that is literally anything Tyrese says in any movie that he's in.
What?
Yes.
You're telling me all those Fast and Furious movies?
Every one of them. Throw in Transformers. I never actually saw Baby Boy, I don't think, but I'm sure it's probably the same.
I've seen pieces of it, and that's kind of blasphemy in the black community.
To not have seen Baby Boy?
Not have seen Baby Boy, The Players Club.
I've never seen that.
The Color Purple.
Okay.
What else is there?
I don't feel like those are like real like blasphemy to me. I feel like those are like blasphemy for like young people necessarily, but like
it's folks our age.
I guess
and older folks.
What about like Juice, Dead Poets Society?
I have seen Juice. I've never seen Dead Poets Society.
Juice. That was not. I don't think that was on the list.
I haven't seen that since I was like when it
I
came
feel
out.
like The Color Purple, The Wiz. Let me think. I think it's like older movies that it's like, what? Like your grandmama didn't sit you down and make you like watch.
No. Think about it. All the movies that are on BET that they play when they think somebody's watching.
I'm sure somebody is watching.
Because they used to play Baby Boy like every Sunday.
I'm sure they
like
probably still
every
throw
Sunday.
Baby Boy on pretty often.
Yeah, I mean, they have to. They don't really have much content.
Wow.
Set It Off.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But I think that's the difference. Maybe it's just like, and your people are just like very vulgar. So, your people, the people who think that those movies are like the quintessential watches, are just very vulgar. So you're watching all these like really. Although I will say,
I haven't seen any of the movies I named.
Although I will say, Boys in the Hood is probably one that like I would say belongs with The Wiz and The Color Purple.
Menace to Society.
Okay, I could rock with Menace to Society.
Maybe that's what I was not Dead Poets Society.
Yeah,
because Dead Poets Society.
I know. Yeah, I was just like,
so
that don't sound right.
It's with like Leonardo DiCaprio and Robin Williams.
Yeah,
isn't it? Or am I getting that confused?
I don't know. I ain't seen it.
No, it's not Robin Williams.
Yeah. But so for interracial couples, O is one.
I didn't feel like that never got big. But
Julia Stiles and Sean Patrick Taylor. Wait, is that his name?
No.
Sean Patrick.
What is that movie? Save the Last Dance.
Is that the one I'm thinking of, or was he in both of those?
But it was Mekhi Phifer.
Yeah, I don't feel like
Josh
anybody
Hartnett,
saw O.
and I think Julia Stiles was in it.
I don't think anybody saw O. Everybody saw Save the Last Dance.
It was Mekhi Phifer? That actually sounds right.
Yeah.
Save the Last Dance is the one I was thinking of.
Yes.
But Julia Stiles is in both of them.
But if we're talking about quintessential black movies, it is the one with no, okay.
You gotta give me more than
I know, like Love and Basketball. That's what it's called.
Oh yeah, I ain't seen that one.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well, somebody is gonna watch this podcast, and when I went, they're gonna be like, Love and Basketball, duh. But y'all are useless. That's all I gotta say about this.
That's why
I hit that note and everything.
That's why black women don't date me.
We have turned a corner. I don't think that's why black women don't date you.
No, I've heard it. Like, yo, you ain't seen The Players Club?
I never seen Players Club.
You better get your weight up, because this date ain't happening unless you do. Oh.
So they don't go Nick Frost on you?
I literally don't know who any of these.
You know what I'm talking about? Hafez?
You ain't seen Bad Boys 2.
You never seen Bad Boys 2. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
And then that's the date.
That's what I try to do. I'm like, hey, no, I haven't seen it, but if you have it, instead of me borrowing it, you can come over and we can watch it together.
Not with that face.
And they're like, no.
Yeah.
No. So dating.
That actually sounded kind of creepy. I wouldn't come over either.
So dating during a pandemic. Is it? You're married.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me.
Yeah, you don't count.
I don't count.
Okay.
Oh, y'all still go on dates, but that's good.
Not a long time.
Was there a point to this?
Yeah, like, am I the only one that's dating during a pandemic?
No, there are a lot of people who are dating during a pandemic.
I'm talking about in this room.
Stay on my business. The point is, stay on my business. But what kind of dating are we talking about?
Hypothetically.
No. Hold
Allegedly.
on. Hold on.
Okay.
What kind of dating are we talking about? Like, we're talking about like going on dates with different people like during the week and things like that. Like, that seems like irresponsible. Like, COVID is a thing. Like, I'm not trying to meet new people and like whatever. But if we're talking about like Like,
if that's a veiled criticism of me, I won't.
It wasn't veiled,
and I won't
that
acknowledge
wasn't
it.
That wasn't veiled. That was
I just saw that episode.
that was
today
extra open. What episode are we talking about?
of Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I think that's generally a bad idea. And I mean, maybe you're having great conversations and you're asking like, hey, like, are you taking COVID seriously? And then like you make a determination for yourself of like, yes, this person's taking it seriously. I'll go meet that person. But if you're not, that seems like a bad idea. And I would actually like to know what is happening.
What are you doing right now?
This is my makeshift mask.
I was like, are you pretending like you're a coach and you're like trying to like don't read my lips?
No. This is my makeshift mask because apparently you out here wilding.
Bro.
Huh?
I've been on 2 dates outside since this thing happened.
Okay.
Just 2.
Okay.
They've been at the same place.
Wait. So you've been inside?
No,
people.
outside.
But I'm saying you like there was a distinguishment there. It wasn't like I've only been on 2 dates. It was I've been on 2 dates outside. So that mean you also had some inside dates?
No.
Okay.
It's been all outside dates. Why are you looking at me like that? No. So the 2 dates that I've had, not counting the main person that I'm seeing now, they've been at.
You should probably clarify that.
See, that's a whole conversation for another
But right
time.
now you look real shady.
For
so
another podcast.
You can say what you want.
No. She knows.
Not her. Not to her, to the people watching.
They'll be all right. They'll be all right. Polyamory, look it up. I don't have time to explain it. I've been on 2 dates, and they've both been at Cosmic Coffee. Is that what it's called? That's the one.
Okay.
Outside seating. Social distancing. You can't leave your table unless you have your mask on.
Okay.
You can't go order anything unless you have your mask on.
Yeah.
There's hand sanitizer all over the place. Whenever you're standing in line, they're like, hey, 6 feet.
Okay.
So if you're there with your group, then you can be, you can group up.
I'm happy for you.
I'm just trying to explain.
Okay.
Since you want to go ahead and start rumors and
look, there's a lot going on in my life. It would be a bad time for me to get COVID. That's all I'm trying to say.
Look, and I'm saying, you're not going to get COVID, buddy. I'm safe. I wrap it up. Where's my mask at? I don't have protection on me right now, but I got it in the car.
You keep that.
Come on, laugh with me. Laugh with me. Nobody here watched Freakazoid.
I did, but he freaked me out.
Yeah,
he was a little weird for me
He was
too.
a little creepy.
It explains a lot about you, though.
Yeah, it probably does. Yeah. So I've been on Tinder.
Okay.
This is keeping up with the dating thing. And Tinder's actually, I haven't been on any other dating apps, but they've actually taken a lot of steps to make sure that they remind you to be safe, not only in just dating in general, but from COVID. It's like, yo, just make sure you mask up. Social distancing is important. Like, there'll be these little things. And it's even gotten so far to where they'll mention voting. Hey, are you registered? You want to let your future matches know that you're registered to vote? Do it here. So, like, they've incorporated a lot of stuff that's going on right now into their little dating app.
So, question.
Yes.
Is that important for you in dating? Like, would you date someone who doesn't vote or like who doesn't care about voting or doesn't think voting is important?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends on the context of the situation. So if they're talking about, I live in Houston, so my vote, and I'm voting blue or Democrat or whatever, then that kind of makes sense.
How does that make sense?
If you're in an area that is overwhelmingly red,
okay,
and if you're voting blue or green or whatever party that's not red, then your vote kind of doesn't matter for the presidential election.
That's not even remotely true.
That's kind of true.
No, okay. So you're saying
Yes.
both of like you described two different situations. The first time you said if you live in Houston, which is blue.
Houston's not blue.
Inner city Houston is blue.
The majority of Houston is red.
I don't think you're right about that.
Okay, so let's shrink it down and talk about Travis County versus Williamson County.
Okay. So you're saying if you live in Williamson County, you're likely not going to win, so you would be okay if they didn't vote?
I would understand it.
But in a national election,
yes,
it is a conglomeration of all the blue votes, regardless of whether you vote in Williamson County or Travis.
Right.
So
delegates and whatnot.
Yeah, so that doesn't hold up. It would still be important that they vote, even if they're in Williamson County.
Right. So Hillary Clinton won a popular vote.
Okay.
By what, 3 million?
Yes.
And Homeboy won the electoral colleges.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah.
But there were also a large amount of people who could have voted in their state.
Facts.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
And that would have, had those people voted blue, obviously we don't know, but had those people voted blue, had those people who traditionally voted blue, that state, the whole entire state would have turned. And so what you're saying is well, if they were in a red area, I could see why they didn't vote blue, even though they could have turned their entire state, even if they voted blue from a red area.
Yeah.
So that doesn't hold up to me.
It's kind of like the same thing with Beto and Cruz. They're in the center
You're
race.
You're gonna need to
because we didn't have enough. There weren't enough people voting blue in that situation to push him past Cruz.
Sure, but that was one of the closest elections.
Very much so.
In recent Texas history as far as Senate goes.
Yeah. So I'm saying that I understand that part of it.
And you would be okay with that. You would date someone who adhered to that particular philosophy.
It depends on what we mean by date.
What?
So if we go out on a date and we talk.
Okay, let me say you would be in a relationship. We're getting into all kinds of stuff.
No, casual dating, maybe. Relationship, no. You got to care about people more than that.
I feel like this is about to get cut because I'm about to ask a real personal question. So are you saying you would sleep with anybody? They don't matter their political views, but when it comes to dating, then you need very, very they gotta be. There's a standard when you want to be in a relationship with someone. But if you're sleeping with them, they could be a Trump supporter.
No.
I hate black people. Never mind. Anyways,
this is a children's show,
it is
sir.
Not. It's not.
For the record, I just want to go on record and saying.
Also, I said this is probably getting cut. So.
The people I date are actually pretty far left.
Okay.
Yeah, no libertarians, no conservatives.
But essentially what you're saying is, you're saying it is not a
if we go
deal
on
breaker.
if we go on a date.
Yeah.
And then some other stuff doesn't line up, we're not going to have a second date.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How come you couldn't just say that?
Because there's a lot of dating is
okay.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I think it's very clear for me.
Yeah.
I think, okay, I don't think I could vote. I don't think I could date a Trump supporter. I could date a conservative. Mm-hmm. Depending. But.
Did I not say that?
No.
I said depending on the circumstance, context.
But. I could not date someone. This is what we're getting. This is what I asked you. I could not date someone who just thought I don't need to be involved in politics or the political realm at all. I don't need to vote. I could not date someone like that.
I said I understand it.
Okay. So does that mean you could date them?
I said after one date.
Okay.
We figure out some other stuff.
Okay.
Probably not.
All right.
Yeah.
Took you a while to say that. Just saying, like, literally, Trump condemned white supremacists faster than you.
Did he?
No, he did not.
Really did not.
He did not.
No. That's not true. He did in 2016.
What did he say?
He said, I completely... let me do it in Trump voice. Okay.
That's true.
I'm going to say it right now, just so everybody can hear it, even the liberal news media. Mm-hmm. I completely disavow the Ku Klux Klan and David Duke. Okay?
That's right.
I did it.
But I never met him. I don't even know the guy.
I don't know him. Even though we met long ago.
We got pictures in a robe.
We were running. We were running for president at the same time. So he has condemned the Ku Klux Klan and David
but he's
Duke.
Also said things that have been unclear.
Yes, unclear is the word.
Obfuscated his opinion of white supremacists.
Yeah.
I was trying to decide what word I was going to use there, and I just decided to go with supremacists.
Yeah. He never calls them losers, though.
No, but he calls military... Well, it is said that he calls military people losers.
Yeah.
He said... Well, he did.
He shitted on John McCain.
Yeah, I was about to say, he very clearly said John McCain, he liked... Yeah,
I don't like people who have been captured or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
that's a little strange for me.
There are a lot of... So that's the thing. Like, when it comes to Trump, there are a lot... Like, it's not just like when people ask me, like, oh, so what is it? And it's like, there's like layers. Like, there's a lot of things that
like an ogre. I'm sorry, an onion. But onions are... onions are like ogres. Or is it ogres are like onions?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was not ready for that. He said, I'm sorry, an onion. I was like, what? Okay, yes, I get the reference now.
So the layers. Mm-hmm. The thing that's strange to me is that Trump can be in all these photographs with people.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know them. I never met them.
Never met him.
We may have taken some pictures. We may have been at the same place at the same time. Many times in the same week. But I don't know them. It's like he's like Mariah Carey. I don't know her.
And the thing is, like... I like have been in pictures with people that like if you ask me like do we have a relationship, I'd be like I know them, but we're not really like close, and those pictures are usually like me with like 10 other people. But he'll be in a picture with like 4 people. Mm-hmm. Like you probably like I ain't never really been in a picture with like, you know, you with somebody and then with their girlfriend, it's like, oh, I don't really know their girlfriend. Yeah. So I get that to an extent. But like, at some point, like just don't lie.
Yeah. Like,
just say, like, yeah, we used to be a lot closer than we are now. And I had nothing to do with these, like, ridiculous things that they were doing and whatever. Like, just don't lie. Like, why say you don't know the person?
So the one time that I can recall that he admitted, like, oh yeah, we hung out. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, they're cool. Mm-hmm. Was with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
Because when they asked him about her being charged and arrested for sex trafficking or whatever it was. It was like, oh, well, you know, I hung out with him or with her and her partner or husband or whatever. You know, they were all right. Mm-hmm. I wish you luck.
I think it's
odd to me that was the one where he was like, never was like, I don't know, I don't remember, I don't recall.
Yeah. I think like it's odd. Yeah, I want to. It strikes me as, I mean, obviously, like, it doesn't make sense. But, like, when you think about QAnon.
I was just about to say that.
When you think about QAnon and, like, their narrative toward Democrats. And you're like, but you know that, like, Yeah. Like if I had to very easily make a connection, but the thing is, like, none of the connections QAnon makes are based in reality.
That's because QAnon. So normally the right conspiratory groups have like they have like dumb names for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
QAnon's kind of all right. It's like how they made it. Yeah, it's catchy.
Is that why people are actually buying the bull?
Yeah, it's just like with alt-right. It's not because you have the Ku Klux Klan. Like that's a tongue twister. Nobody wants to do tongue twisters, right?
Actually, people wanted to do tongue twisters for literally most of it. Like the Ku Klux Klan was there.
We're not there anymore. But when alt-right came out and like dudes were wearing these tailored suits, like alt-right. Alt-right.
Are we not there? Because when Obama won the presidency,
they were with the Spencer guy.
Yeah, Richard Spencer.
The Guinness guy came in, and they kind of replaced the Spencer guy with the suit racists.
Right.
And now the Proud Boys have kind of taken the alt-right place.
It's just like racism is going to evolve and change. The one thing it's not going to do is go away.
Yeah.
Like, it might be like tuxedos in a little bit, but like there's still going to be the same racist ideas that were there before.
And homeboy Duke
David?
No.
Daniel.
Gavin.
I don't know this person.
Oh, McGinnis?
Yeah. That guy.
Okay.
I remember him saying that he chose the title Proud Boys because hey, we're just a bunch of proud boys. Boys is less intimidating than men. And if you're proud of something, like everybody's proud of something. Like Pride Week is a thing. Pride Month is a thing.
He's also one of the founding members of Vice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he knows his marketing and all that stuff. So that whole Proud Boys thing.
I do appreciate that got co-opted by the gay community.
Yeah. Gay Twitter was lit.
I thought that was pretty interesting. And like, yeah.
It's been my favorite thing during this entire bullshit this year to see these different groups on Twitter and other social. That's mainly Twitter, to be honest. Just kind of co-opt things like Proud Boys. There was like a bunch of gay men who are in relationships with one another, and they talk about like where they met, how they met, and how things are going, and hashtag it Proud Boys.
Yeah.
And they took that.
Yeah. It was like they overwhelmed that hashtag away from like white supremacy and like made it
K-pop Twitter has also been a big supporter of anti-racism.
Yeah, and they did the thing where they they were free, but bought out all the seats in the Tulsa thing so that supporters couldn't get them. Yeah.
And then they flooded like radio traffic, police radio traffic or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
Or like their Twitter feeds.
Yeah.
So I think it is interesting that like we have a young group of people who are finding their way to be activists.
Yeah.
And I could not be more proud. I think like we're gonna figure it out. Like, and it's probably gonna like go not less, but it's probably gonna go badly eventually. But right now, like young people who can't vote, who don't necessarily have a say, or who like live in houses with like conservative parents are finding their way to have a voice, to like be active. I know exactly. Yes, that's exactly who I was alluding to.
Yeah.
They're finding their way to like have a voice using something that they're good at. And so kudos to them. Even if they get COVID on the way.
So do you remember a few years ago when people were like shitting on hashtag activism?
And now look where we are.
It's actually doing something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's amazing. What a time.
What a time to be alive.
To be alive.
Yeah.
You and yours versus me and mine.
I don't know this
Oh,
reference.
me, oh, my. I don't know.
I don't know this reference.
That's okay. It's a Drake song. It's a Drake and Future song.
That's certainly why I don't know it. What? I'm just not.
I don't care for Drake either.
Okay. We should actually do some news before we get out of here.
Okay.
So let's go VP debate. I will say, and I've said this a lot this week, but I'll say it again. Essentially, like, I heard the whitest argument I have ever heard in my life at the vice presidential debate.
Was it how to season chicken?
No.
How white was it? Sorry.
It was so white. Now,
What was?
I'm not even around with that.
Okay. So the question was about like Black Lives Matter and the protests and things like that. And Mike Pence responded with, "I trust the justice system."
Yeah.
I was like, that is the whitest thing you could possibly say in response to this. Because, like, as a person, like, here's what it did for me. And I'll put it in the context of Trump as well. Okay. What it did for me was it highlighted that not only does he live in a completely different world than I live, but he is not interested in the world I live in or addressing the world that I live in. Because as a person of color, like, and as a Black person, like, I don't, like, there's not evidence that I can trust the justice system.
Yeah.
I don't trust the justice system. Mm-hmm. And there's tangible evidence that trusting the justice system has not gone well for people who look like me.
No.
And so if you're Pence, maybe you trust the justice system, but that's because you have not looked at the justice system in any other frame of reference than your own.
Well, how else is he gonna do it?
There are lawyers, there are justices, there are all kinds of people.
But you have to be a human being to have empathy for another person.
Are you saying Mike Pence isn't a human being?
No. You saw that fly that stuck on his head? Man,
yeah. Me and Jen, for a good few seconds, were like, do I have to go get the fly swatter? Legit, until he turned his head and it disappeared. Like, a huge fly in his head.
He's a piece of shit. That's why the fly was there.
That is rude.
Therefore,
I'm not gonna go
he
that
can't
far.
empathize with human beings.
I'm not going to go that far. But I will say it reminded me of Trump's language earlier in the week.
Okay.
Actually, I don't really know when it was, but around the same time, where he's like, we've got the best medications. We got the best.
Really saying, I have the best medication.
Exactly. It's like you are so far removed from what America. He's like, we don't have to be afraid of COVID.
I don't have to be afraid of COVID.
Exactly. Like you're so far removed from the American people that you can't even see. Like, even though they show you the numbers, you can't even see that 200,000 people didn't have that same access, didn't have that same, like, the same reason to feel comfort and know that the healthcare system is going to give them the best care, is going to take care of them, that it's going to be free. And you have no, I don't even know how to say, like, you have no basis in the reality of most Americans.
No. He's been rich forever.
Yeah.
And outside of that, when you say he doesn't see, that implies that there's some ignorance there. He knows. He doesn't care. Which implies something a lot worse about him as a person. Because you go back to those tapes, the Bob Woodward tapes.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's back in February.
He absolutely knew.
He had all of the bullet points correct.
Absolutely.
Behind closed doors. He knew what he was saying. Yeah. And then he would go out in front of the American people and lie. Yeah. Not like, I don't pay attention to what people are telling me. I don't pay attention to my doctors. I don't pay attention to scientists. I don't pay attention to my briefings. Like, no. It's not because I'm just out of the loop. No. I know. I just don't care.
He was deep in the loop.
So deep.
He was like a Fruit Loop. Like, that's how, like, he was like the toy in the box. He was deep in the loop.
Oh man, it was Toucan Sam.
Yeah, but he was Toucan Sam in the loop, and he was like, "No, you have nothing to worry about." Like, and the thing is, like, we could have saved so many lives, and I mean, his people's lives, if he had just been like, "Hey, let's wear these masks and let's get over this thing."
He don't care about them either.
No. Probably no. See, that's the thing, because I want to say, yeah, he didn't care about them, probably because, you know, he thinks they will have the same health care he does, but he can't possibly believe that.
No.
And yet he said it as if that was the thing.
And he said it as he has COVID.
Yeah.
Y'all saw him walk up the stairs for that little political stunt he did.
Yeah.
He ripped his mask off like I don't know, like it was cotton out of an aspirin bottle.
That's your reference.
That's all I have.
Cotton out of the mouth. How mad are you when you open your medication?
Yo,
because I usually just kind of like pull it out, like
those child locks on those.
By the time you get it open, you upset. Okay, I understand. Now, here's the thing: people were like, they were noting that he was like breathing hard, but like the way stairs work, like
flight of stairs. So I understand.
I'd have been like, I don't even have COVID, but
see, here's the difference between us and Mr. Trump. Mm-hmm. We recognize walking up them stairs is not easy.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to keep a nice, brisk pace.
Yeah. Which is also why.
With a mask on.
Yeah. But which is also why if I had COVID, I wouldn't spend time walking upstairs.
No.
Military, carry me. Yeah.
They gotta ditty him up the stairs.
Like I got one perk as before I get voted out. I got one perk as commander in chief.
He said, "Treat me as a sultan."
I want no stair. I want no part of these stairs right now. Well, the thing is,
Comey, elevate me.
Here's the thing: why is he back in the office?
Because he needs to communicate to his people strength.
That COVID is contagious? Because that's the only thing you'd be communicating.
I need to sow as much discord as possible to keep up with the narrative that I've been creating.
Virus. And if and when he improves, his condition improves, that's just going to make it worse.
Well, I think
he beat it, no problem. It's no.
That's exactly what he's saying.
And he's
that's
70,
exactly what he's saying. He's fine now. But again, he had literally the best doctors, a new medication, like all these kind of things that normal people
don't have access to.
Exactly. And we won't have access to soon.
No.
So the idea that like, oh, it's beatable because I beat it, like, I hope it doesn't inspire people to be like, well, let's just go out. Like, we got the best, blah, blah, blah. It's fine. Take this mask off.
I'm future now. Mask off.
Except I don't think you're going to have much of a future if you get COVID and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, look, don't come around me. Don't come around me if you don't take COVID seriously. Like, I think like that's the thing. It's like we're all having to figure out and navigate who we can be next to. And like, if that's important enough, is a particular, like, is it worth it to be near you? And like I'm deep in my friend's business. Like, where you been lately? Like, like what you doing? Like, who you hanging out with? Like,
I sanitized the doorknobs before y'all came in.
I appreciate that.
Very sweet of you.
Yeah.
I'm looking out for my people. You know
appreciate
what I'm saying?
that.
Empathy.
Now, if you get off Tinder, that probably anyway. So I'm just saying, there's a reason you need to sanitize the doors. Anyway, so the thing is, like, I hope
he's mad.
But I ain't stressing.
You want me to get you a bottle so you can get out the car?
Nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah, I think like we're on and I think we're about to have to do that with our families, right? Because Thanksgiving is coming, and we have to navigate like, hey, do we all get together for things? Because that's a horror story, honestly. Like, if you like get together with your family. And like the whole family gets COVID from that, and that has happened. Yeah, it's happened at funerals. It's happened at like all like these kind of gatherings. Which like I've been invited to a few funerals, and like generally how I've navigated them is I've gone to see the body, and I don't stay because the idea of like staying in a closed-in church with a bunch of people, and like honestly, like you're at a funeral, so if someone's wearing their mask wrong, like you feel weird, like trying to correct them, like wear the mask over your nose. Like, I go to the store and I see people who aren't wearing the mask over their nose, and I'm just like,
slip it down
do you understand?
That's not gonna help.
Like death, death comes from the nostrils too. Like,
no, well, they can't breathe. It's just like homegirl said. It's just like a homegirl said about George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Black Lives Matter protesters are out there, and George Floyd died because he couldn't breathe, and we're wearing masks and we can't breathe.
That was so stupid.
You remember seeing that?
I remember. I don't know. I remember who it was.
It's some random Karen.
Yeah.
Some random Karen.
Yeah. Okay.
Was doing that.
But these are like, I don't know. When I see people at the store, it's not people who are like making a big deal about the mask. It's just people who aren't wearing it right. Yeah, the people who are like just
have it like in there. I saw a guy. There's a couple. The woman had her mask on, and the dude had his mask in his shirt pocket.
Like, for why?
They were walking around shopping. I'm looking like.
Do you breathe out your titty?
Glad I can't
what is happening right now? Because if that was the case,
I gotta protect my milk.
If that was the case, we could have COVID bras, and we just like.
I've actually seen that. It's
a COVID bra.
So it's somebody posted something on Twitter. It was not pretty.
Why?
Because I don't know. We're in a pandemic with masks.
I've seen some OnlyFans, photos that they like post on Twitter.
What you doing?
Like to promote
OnlyFans?
I follow some models and stuff on there. No big deal, but one said they're like a lot of them are like they're like like I'm big into cosplay. Like I like following cosplay, and so it started like there was a girl that in the cosplay community,
as she should have,
right? And they were like, "Oh, it's not coming from a racist place." Blah blah blah.
What was it? A white person?
Wait. How is dressing up as coronavirus racist?
Yeah,
I can make it racist,
dressed
but
in that traditional Chinese dress.
Oh,
too.
That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, Gerard, give it a second. Like before you question this,
for the Japanese mannerisms, so it was like coronavirus Chan or some shit like that. It was pretty cringe.
No.
But then later on, the whole point of me bringing this up was that they're getting like the little blue mask that you put on your face, and then making bikinis.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's gross. It's inappropriate.
But like for what? Like that's the thing. Like when people are like racism like is over and doesn't exist, I'm like, do you not like? I think the only way you could do that is you like see racist stuff and you don't notice that it's racist. It's like literally somebody saw that cosplay and was like, I think this is like cute or hilarious or whatever, but they didn't see it as racist. I think those are the only people who could be like, racism is over.
Mission accomplished.
Did y'all see Candace Owens paid supporters to come out and be in the Rose Garden? Yeah. Her and her BLEXIT group paid a bunch of black folks and other folks to come out with these BLEXIT shirts on.
What is
MAGA
BLEXIT?
It's so.
Is it supposed to be black exit from the Democratic Party?
Yeah. So it's a play on the Brexit.
Yeah, I gathered that part.
Yeah, and Kanye West has a part in that because one, he used his platform to uplift her.
Yeah.
And she actually used his name to get BLEXIT trending. Later on, he was like, "Oh, I wasn't part of that. She did that without my permission. I've been being used," and she apologized for it. But it's a whole movement. There are people on social media, black folks, who are like, #BLEXIT. I'm not with the Democrats. Trump is giving us the Platinum Plus plan. Bling bling, playa. I sound like a white person trying to sound like a black person.
You just sound stupid.
It's like Lil Dicky.
Just like everybody that's a part of the BLEXIT movement.
The thing is, like, why? I don't understand why. Essentially, their argument is like, if you don't leave. So it's essentially this. If you don't do what we want, then you're a sheep. Then you're just like not thinking for yourself and things like that. But generally, I and a lot of black people.
Black sheep.
In fact, I would even contend most black people.
Black sheep.
Are thinking for themselves, and we're smart enough to see that there is a party that's actually like has a better plan than the other party. And so for that party to then call us sheep seems
You know why you're
ridiculous.
a black sheep? Because you are still on a plantation, my good sir.
Oh my gosh.
You seem to misrepresent history insofar as the Democrats are the party of racists and segregationists.
Oh, do we?
It was the Republicans
Gerard,
who freed the slaves. Abraham Lincoln, a prominent Republican, second only to Trump,
Gerard,
who has done more for African Americans
what I think
than anybody else
is that
by far.
you don't want me to get into the history of this. We don't have enough time. You do not want me to get into the history of when it started to make far more sense to support the Democratic Party than it did the Republican Party.
You're not a free thinker.
But here's the thing.
Like Candace.
I will free think right now. And I won't even use whatever. I'll free think right now. And my free thinking says there is a party that has said traditionally and explicitly racist things in the last 2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks.
Are you talking about when Joe Biden said, if you can't decide if you're for Trump
That
or
was
you're
not
for
the
me,
last 2 weeks.
you ain't black?
That was not the last 2 weeks.
It is something that they tend to repeat often. Yeah. It's one of the only things that they can repeat from the last.
And I get that, but I think the thing is if you put up a chart and it was you just made a tally mark every time they said something either explicitly or a dog whistle or a implicit something that's a microaggression.
Yeah.
There would be a lot of strokes on both, but there would be an inordinate amount of strokes on the Republican Party.
The China virus or whatever you want to call it.
Stroke.
He was a Mexican. Oh, that wasn't in the last couple weeks. I haven't really been paying that much attention to the news, but
No, look, I trust the justice system. Stroke.
What did Joe Biden say about police? He supports police because they asked Chris Wallace asked about Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
it was like, hey, so do you support what they're doing? He's like, I support police.
Yeah. Are you saying that should be a stroke?
Oh, most definitely.
I don't know. I support the police
because of the follow-up with the position that he took on Black Lives Matter.
But he said Black Lives Matter.
He disavowed the violence, but didn't address why there is violence where it is.
Okay,
where it
that's
is.
fair. But if we're going to say that, then we need to also. I guess if anything, they would be even. But when we're talking about tone, I would still have given more strokes to the Republican Party and Mike Pence's explanation of law and order and all these kind of other things than I would the other party.
So this is actually kind of interesting to me. So Joe Biden has a relationship with the black community, right?
I guess. But also
put it in quotes.
Yeah. But also what this is kind of interesting to me before we just jump over there is you were talking about Joe Biden and we're comparing Joe Biden and Pence instead of Harris and Pence.
Well, I was going to go Joe Biden and Trump.
Okay.
So they both have or had some kind of standing in the black community. Before Trump ran, he was hanging out with a bunch of entertainers, musicians. Okay. They were talking about his hotels.
I feel like that's not a standing in the black community, but okay.
He wasn't looked at as a terrible person.
That's false.
He wasn't looked at as a terrible person.
That's false. As soon as he took that ad out about killing those kids, I was done.
I was never on his team.
What? You weren't Team Trump?
No.
You sure?
But that was in the 90s.
Yeah.
You were aware of Trump in the 90s?
I was bro, when he took out that ad.
All I remember him from was Home Alone. He's like, oh, yeah, you don't have any parents.
He's on the episode of Fresh Prince.
He was on Fresh Prince. A standing in the black community.
But, okay, I will say I've learned a lot more about Trump since then. Yeah. But I never viewed Trump as any kind of hero, and certainly not a black hero.
I didn't say a hero. I just said some kind of standing or relationship.
Okay, but that standing was like, oh, that's a trash rich person. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand what standing you. I don't feel like there was anybody who was like, yeah. Anyway, continue. Sorry, I'm interrupting. I'm very sorry.
I distinctly remember watching it was like a documentary, something about Def Jam Records.
Okay.
What's his name? Russell Simmons was on record as saying like, yeah, Donald Trump, that's my nigga right there. And then they interviewed Donald Trump, and Trump was like, and they were like, you know, Russell Simmons said that you were his N-word, and Trump was like, huh, I would never repeat that. But if he said it, okay, cool, okay, all right, okay.
I feel like
that's the thing, because Trump is like all gold and glitz and all this kind of bullshit. There were folks who, like I said, a lot of entertainers. I specifically said entertainers that really effed with him.
I would like to point out that there are entertainers who are now in trouble for violence against women, but you know, it's fine.
Oh yeah, that happens. And you have Joe Biden, who, so during the primaries, James Clyburn came out, South Carolina, right?
Yep.
Was like, yo, that's the one. Yeah. And then black people were like, yo, he's the one.
Black people in South Carolina have trusted Joe Clyburn for a very long time.
Yeah.
So I mean, and Joe Clyburn has known Joe Biden for a very long time. And so I was not surprised that was happening. But
right. And then with all the memes as the vice president, as Obama's vice president, he kind of got invited to the cookout through that. Because before, like, nobody knew who this guy was. I won't say nobody, but there was like in the collective black consciousness, we're not a monolith.
Okay.
But in the collective black consciousness, Joe Biden was just some politician.
Sure. Okay. I get that. I think I knew about Joe Biden because he authored the Violence Against Women Act. And I've known about that for a long time, and it has needed to be re-upped for a long time. And so, anyway, so that's probably why he was on my radar.
Right.
But you're right in the sense of, like, you know, Joe wasn't, like, household name until he started to get, like, bigger in the political, like, sphere, and especially once he became VP for...
Yeah. And you see all the memes with him and Obama being buddies and, like, jogging, and he's doing...
He was Uncle Joe.
He was Uncle Joe.
He was Uncle Joe.
Exactly. So they both, it's interesting to me that both of these guys have histories that you could say are rooted in racism and also have been very popular with black people.
I feel like Joe was popular with black people in a very different way than Trump was popular with black people.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
I don't think so. I think Joe was popular in the sense where, like, he was on memes, and Trump was very popular with rich black people who, and that, I don't know that like translated to the common black person.
That was kind of difficult to say because in the 90s, Homeboy's name was people were talking about Trump a lot. In the 90s and the 80s.
Sure.
Had his name all over the place. Trump Tower was like a place that if you had money, like that's the hotel you want to be in. That's the place that you want to have a room in.
Even though Trump Tower didn't actually have money?
Oof.
It's fine. Anyway, I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I feel like they're different. But what was the point of saying that?
They're definitely different. I said that to say that with everything that makes these two men who they are and what they represent to different people and us especially, and what they have represented, it's an interesting kind of dynamic to me to see the two of these people vying for the seat of president of the United States, who you have one group of black people who are like, yo, Trump got us jobs. Trump is coming with the platinum plan. Trump has paid attention to us. And then you have another group of black people who are like, Joe Biden is the guy that's going to pay attention to us. Joe Biden is the guy who can take Trump out and give us what we need as black folks. Mm-hmm. His VP is black. So it's just like it's I'm looking at it like there's two factions.
Yeah, but there's a false equivalency here. The Trump faction is very small.
Yeah.
In relation, thank you,
yeah.
to the amount of black people who support Biden, the amount of black people who support Trump is very, very small.
So I'm not disagreeing with you, but I will say that there's a lot of black people who are for Biden just because they want to get Trump out.
Yeah, but there's a lot of white people who are for Biden just because they want to get Trump out.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that happens a lot. And I'm not necessarily saying that you're doing this, but I think it happens a lot that the black vote is somehow seen as oh, you're just doing this because of this, and you're just whatever. And the white vote is seen as oh, you're meticulously looking at the issues and deciding who you want to vote for.
Who says that?
I'm saying a lot of people say that. People will be oh, you're just voting Democratic because you're black. That's how we started this argument.
Oh, well,
people were hey, you're just voting for Democrats because you're black and black people vote Democratic. It's no. I look at the issues. I look at what's going to be helpful for not only my community, but the world, climate change, but the economy. I don't think that trickle down is trickle down doesn't work, hasn't worked, won't work. And
I said it doesn't exist.
No, it don't trickle. Or at least it trickles inside. It trickles, but then there's a cup that catches it and then it just throws it back up to the rich people. That's how it works.
It's called nepotism.
Yeah. What else? I think as far as oh my gosh, immigration. I don't think the Republican works. Taxes. I don't think the Republican plan works. I think the Republican plan works for rich people. But that doesn't work for people it is not likely that I will ever make more than $400,000 a year. If I do, the Lord has watched after me well. But that's not likely.
Yeah.
Right? And so the idea here is that I'm voting for Democratic, people will constrict the complexities of who I am. It's oh, you're voting Democratic because you're black. And it's no, I'm voting Democratic because I can look at a conglomerate of issues and figure out which one actually benefits not only me, but the sustainability of the country and the world. And if you look at the Democratic and the Republican platforms and as well as, let me just put this back, as well as I think that there should be a level of decorum and diplomacy displayed in the White House.
Yeah.
And that is not a small issue for me. And so all of that together, don't try to say I'm voting Democratic because I'm black. I know I'm voting Democratic because I can look at all of that and I can decide oh, that makes a lot more sense to me. That is what I want. And it has nothing to do with, don't get me wrong, my identity of being black is important and I think about that and I think about other black people when I'm voting. But ultimately, that's not all of me, and it's unfair to constrict those complexities to say oh, this is just it.
Yeah.
You're it.
Yeah. I guess just to kind of simplify it, I feel like I've seen more black folks excited about voting for Trump than I've seen black folks excited about voting for Biden.
But I think you kind of have to be. Because if you're on the fence about voting for Trump, I feel you're getting a lot of I feel we should talk. If you're on the fence, let's talk. But if you love Trump or whatever, I'm that's a different kind of black person, and I know that's not who I'm going to reach with common sense and logic.
I don't know any of my black friends who were excited to vote for what's his face for Biden.
I know people who are excited to vote for Biden.
But I do know some folks, and it's not even based on the person as much as the policy. So whether that policy is some bullshit like the Platinum Plan or it's based on the crime bill from the 90s. that's kind of what's interesting for me to see. I'm not seeing like people who are clamoring for Joe Biden like he's gonna bring something new and innovative, and that's just gonna like, oh, we're gonna bring the economy back, we're gonna get rid of COVID. Like I see some of that on Twitter.
So,
but it's just like personally with my friends, I don't know anybody who's excited.
So to be honest with you, I think your experience of that kind of says a lot
about me.
No, about the people who are voting for Trump, right? So like if you ask me like, so it's kind of like that, like those things that you can point to have been very touted by the Trump campaign as reasons why Black people should vote for them. And there haven't, in my opinion, been particular receipts that shows that Trump is actually going to do any of that.
Oh, well,
hey, what are the policies?
Yeah,
are you gonna do the
criminal justice?
Yeah, criminal justice reform bill. Yeah, we were there. We were there. But that benefited a ton of white people. Like, anyway, point is, and I think it's going to benefit him when he ends up. Never mind, we're not even going to say that yet. Crap. What was I saying? Oh, if you ask me like, what policies of Joe Biden's like encourage me to vote, would encourage me to vote for him, there are a conglomerate of things. There are like a lot of things, and I don't think they fit into this very, very specific and lovely box, right? So like the Platinum Plan, I have read the Platinum Plan. It's like, I don't know, 10 things, and it fits into a lovely box.
Yeah.
It's called the Platinum Plan, a $500 billion Platinum Plan that I don't actually think he will carry. I think it's going to end up like lock him up. Remember, lock her up. Remember, like, they were like, lock her up. And they tried to say that at a rally after the election. He was like, that played well during the election, but we don't need it now. I feel like that's the $500 billion plan.
So I don't think so.
You think that he's actually going to implement this $500 billion plan?
Well, I already mentioned that some of it's already on the books.
Yeah. Okay, but like,
I do think that if he's reelected, he will reinvest in some of the plans that are in the Platinum Plan, some of the ideas that are there.
I think he will be far less motivated to do that than he is now, because he can't get elected again. And so, stop it. He can't get elected again. And so, he will, like, who is he beholden to? He's beholden to fixing things for himself. Yeah, but he's beholden to fixing things for himself when he gets out of office. And that's what he's done right now. Like the tax bill literally fixed things for himself. Yeah. Like we talked about this on the thing, and I still don't know the name for it. But essentially, like, it allows you to carry tax losses, and that was limited, and he made it unlimited. Yeah. Which means that like all the losses that he had, because he's not a very good businessman, he can just like write those off year after year. In different ways, and that's why he pays so little in taxes. And so, like I said, like he is beholden to like essentially like setting up a system that benefits him. Yeah, and I don't think that he's going to care, like when he's not beholden to voters, about trying to like grab 2 or 3 black votes that he doesn't need because he can't run for re-election.
But that's the thing; he can't run for re-election. He may try to fix that, but every time a president leaves office, they try to set it up so that their successor is one of them. So whether that be Mike Pence, whether that be Ivanka, it's like, hey, it's the same thing that Barack Obama tried to lead into for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, hey, this is all the things that we did during my administration. Hillary Clinton is like, it's one of my people. You have her in office, she's going to build on the stuff that we started and add more to it. So I do think that Trump isn't just going to be making empty promises, especially with something like that. Because if you can get reelected and then you put some of that forward, not only is the BLEXIT crowd going to be locked in, But some of the other folks who are on the fence are going to be like, he came through and did something that previous presidents haven't done, specifically for black folks.
I disagree. And I disagree for a number of reasons. Mm-hmm. And I think they tout essentially that like Barack Obama didn't do anything for black people. And that's just untrue. Mm-hmm. But, and that's where I think it is. I think it's like, honestly, I think they're buying in, the people who like are touting the 500 billion, like they're buying in to a very prominent pandering plan. And I think it's pandering
Almost
in the
definitely.
sense, I think it's pandering in the sense that like, I don't think that he cares to do that. And I don't think that he's going to be concerned with doing that. And I am unsure that like, yeah, I'm unsure that he's going to push that forward. And then I think he'll probably say it. And I think they'll probably like run on it in the same pandering way that it's running on now. But I don't think they actually care about black people or doing anything for black people.
I didn't say that they cared about black people. I said that his main thing is his ego. He loves being loved and adored by people. That's his big thing. That's why he's always talking about ratings.
Yeah,
My ratings are better than yours. You can't get anybody at your crowd, or you can't get crowds at your rallies. Unlike me, who has all these people
in a
coming
pandemic
out
together
during a pandemic, despite COVID, to come see me.
Yeah, I agree with that, which is honestly a terrible idea. But yes, like I get what you're saying, but I don't think that means he's going to do the things that he says. And my example would be, where is our healthcare plan that he talked about releasing 2 weeks after he gets elected that was going to cover pre-existing conditions? And if he doesn't have that healthcare plan, but pre-existing conditions are going to be protected, why is he in the courts right now? And that's metaphorically, like his lawyers are in courts right now trying to repeal Obamacare, which would repeal protections for pre-existing conditions.
Right.
And so the thing is, you're saying like, oh, he's going to care about black people and he's going to put it in.
I'm not saying he's going to care about
well,
black people.
he's going to like do all these like he has this set up to like put these plans in place for black people. And I think they're going to go the way of the healthcare plan that he says in.
I think they're going to go the way of the wall.
He's going to do it really badly?
One of the big things that he was talking about 2016, 2015 was building the wall. The wall had already been in construction.
That part of the wall. Yeah, for sure.
So
I get that. But now the wall that he's added is really bad. I don't know if you saw that, but like it's not good.
Right. People don't care about that though. His supporters don't care about that.
Yeah, they just think
it's
the wall's
the fact
being built.
that he's doing it.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying with this platinum plan. You already have stuff that's on the books already.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that he's going to let those, he's
definitely going to
re-sign those.
Stuff.
And then there's a couple other things that he might focus on. I'm not saying he's going to focus on the entire thing, just a couple key points.
Yeah.
And then he's going to use that. Hey, look, I care about black people. I do more than Abraham Lincoln.
I think he's going to take credit for a lot of things. I think to this day, he takes credit for Obama's change, like Obama's fixing the economy.
Yeah, exactly.
And anyway, all right.
Well, he did that in his first year when he tried to claim that huge job rise, but that was carryover from the Obama administration.
I think, like, I would make the argument, and probably be right, that Obama did such a robust job of fixing the economy that not even Trump could like blow it and kill the amount of jobs that Obama was creating.
It took a pandemic. And so I don't like the language of, this president did this to the economy because it's not the president. There are things that they can sign, but they don't come up with the laws. And then at the same time, they're not responsible for all the innovation that's taking place. So like all these things like DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, Grizzly, like all these delivery services.
Grizzly?
Are Drizzly? Yeah, they deliver alcohol.
Okay.
I got the thing on the refrigerator. Like there's no president, there's no politician that's responsible for those things. All the innovation comes from.
Finish and then I'll.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I could argue that it is a lot of the stimulus money that went to like that got pumped into the economy, that got pumped into small business, that allowed them to create these platforms for these things that, like, if you didn't have that kind of stimulus, like, wouldn't have been there to be able to, like, build the platforms at the time. And that stimulus, those, like, plans were, like, started during the Obama administration.
I would say that a lot of things that I was talking about, I don't think any like corporate entity really jumped in there and was like, yo, Uber sounds like a great idea, because taxi cabs exist and it's already been something that's been established. But you have people who come in and fund like
Eric Holder's one of the chairman of he's part of the executive board of Uber now. He was the attorney general under Obama.
Yeah. But I think he's like saying like the infancy of the company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Those are normally like investments, like Shark Tank.
Yeah.
We have this idea, here's a proof of concept, and then somebody with money puts it into it.
Yeah.
That may or may not have come from stimulus. I mean, it's a person, so they're normally millionaires, billionaires anyways, gambling on if this product is going to work or not. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Obama administration, but it's I just don't like the language around it.
That's fair.
I never have.
That's fair. And I think it's a country thing. I think it's like a countrywide thing. Like we all save the economy. Like you can't save the economy if we don't work. Like
exactly.
Yeah. So I get that, but I also think in that same realm that I give more credit to Obama than I do to Trump. And I think Trump attempts to take more credit than obviously he gives to Obama.
That's all he does. His entire way that he make money is somebody built something and he slaps his name on it.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the way a lot of people make money. That's the way I'd make money if I had money to to buy stuff and put my name on it.
Marlon with like a little check over the O.
Why a check over the O?
So that it's très chic.
Oh, yeah. Gerard, you're not a designer. We'll figure it out, though. It's fine. All right.
So.
Let's get out of here.
Okay.
I'm going to be up all night anyway.
Yeah, well.
Homework. Not
dating.
Not doing Gerard's things.
What are my things?
Your Tinder, dating.
Wow. I don't have any dates set up today.
Good.
I'm going to try to cook some food. Mm-hmm. And then I'm probably going to attempt to play Avengers. God damn it.
The game's so broken.
It is. I can't stop playing it, though, because it's the game that got me back into games. Right. Don't buy Avengers. It's an okay game, but don't do it.
About Ghost of Tsushima.
I tried, but they were sold out, and no one wanted to buy Avengers, so I bought it.
And before Gerard blows a gasket.
Gerard angry. Make me green on this. Cut that part out, though.
Okay, I'll try to
make me green, but cut that. You just gotta look like you want to throw up for no reason. So, with all that being said, thank you for joining us. No. This is... Are you using my no against me?
Yeah. I was going to say... Yeah.
Wow. It is.
I liked it.
Thanks for stopping by.
I was getting to that.
Oh, okay.
Wow. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, we're done now. No.
He was leading you. I think that's what was.
I was leading.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Lead. No, I'm a follower. Lead. So, everybody, thank you for joining us. We will be back in some moment in time. And I'm going to let Marlon take it from here. Thanks for stopping by. I did my part. For a slice of black apple pie.
You gotta look at the screen.
Oh, why am I looking at you? For a slice of black apple pie. Oh my gosh. We out.
He loves his family, he loves his crew, that's nothing new. A touch confused, in love with music, but just a dude. It's just as true, he'll fucking lose what he doesn't use. But he's addicted to those ones and twos. And I can't wait no more. Plus I can't fake that, I just don't feel that up.
Thanks.